You might not know this, but other than singing and occasionally climbing mountains, I also like to get my garden on, especially when I hang around guys like this. Ben Getz joins us again today, and we're talking about the how-tos of planting leeks, quite an ideal vegetable for this time of year that you can use in various ways in cooking. And to me, it looks like, it reminds me of the Northwest Province when you're riding, long distance and then you see the fields of mealies.
Yes.
Like little mealies over there.
Yeah.
But leeks, very good for this time of year, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely good. I mean, I like the point in terms of, you say they look like millies. They're actually, they're a great part of a vegetable garden throughout the winter. Brilliant winter crop, but they're also really aesthetically pleasing. So even I've seen them used, and we've used them as in aesthetic gardens, so kind of guerrilla gardening, popping them into kind of more aesthetic indigenous gardens.
Yeah. Tell me about this time of year. Why should people be looking to plant leeks?
Well, for one thing, they're very useful in terms of culinary uses in soups and stir fries and veg bakes, and there's so many different ways of using them. But they're wonderful throughout the winter. So if you plant them towards the tail end of summer, you can kind of harvest after 2 months. They'll be about pencil thickness. Then you'd be harvesting baby leeks.
Yeah.
And now, we're kind of middle of winter, more or less.
And they're still looking very good, so they're able to bear the brunt of that cold.
Absolutely. And they'll keep going all the way through to spring.
Yeah.
Even potentially through the spring. So you can harvest them at different sizes. Right now, they're kind of at a medium size. In fact, let me harvest one here.
So how do you harvest it properly? Do you just yank it out?
It's a good idea to loosen the soil around the plant so that you don't break the stem.
Yes.
Although the stem isn't, in fact, actually a stem. It's a composite of lots of leaves. It's kind of like there's a whole lot of leaves that. So in fact, that's a nice way to clean it as well, is just to pull off. Look how pristine that is.
Amazing.
And then all we do is we just gently chop off the roots, and you can actually replant the root and get another leek growing.
So that's how you plant it. You not seeds or anything like that. It's the root that you use after harvest.
Generally you would use seed or seedlings.
Yes.
But it's a tip, and it's a way of kind of getting, well, 2-for-1 deal. When you harvest your leeks, you can just chop off a very thin amount there and plant it again, preferably not in the same place.
Yeah. Speaking of the planting methodology, tell me about the soil preparation. What kind of soil you need? How do you make it right for leeks?
They are quite heavy feeders, which means that they like a well-composted, well-dug, well-composted soil, even broken down animal manures.
Okay.
So a rich soil. Other than that, after that, they're very easy to plant, like any seed or seedling, much the same. And they're fantastic in a vegetable garden for many reasons, but they're brilliant companions. They don't attract pests.
Oh, brilliant.
They're very, there's one or two very slight possibilities of pests, but other than that, they're very hardy and brilliant around brassicas, so broccolis and also lettuces, and they don't take up a lot of space as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, how do you plant them? Do you plant them in rows, or can you just kind of, plant them wherever you think they normally grow well together in any shape or form?
They do very well in rows. I tend to plant sort of my bigger, longer, well, not even longer, but my bigger crops. I'll set out my broccolis and my lettuces in a beautiful kind of aesthetic and symmetrical pattern. And then once the garden's full, then I'll kind of insert the leeks in between everything. So really putting it throughout the garden, especially for a winter garden. As you can see, and it grows. The roots don't take up that much space, and they grow straight up, so they're not actually competing for nutrients. And if we've prepared the bed, as I said, it's very fertile. You can really grow a lot in a small space.
Oh, and you can actually end up using the entire thing, right, for different purposes.
Exactly. We had lettuces in here before. We've harvested them, and the leeks are filled out into the space. So it's a way of kind of getting a succession of crops and maximizing a small space.
Fantastic. I'm actually going to ask you if it's okay that we harvest some for the kitchen and use them in the cooking.
Absolutely.
So can we take out one more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
just
so
give it a...
Over here. I'm going to try this is my first time. So just loosen up the soil a little bit.
Yes.
There you can see it coming out. Come on, little leaky. Here we are. And wow, that's a huge chunk. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You just got to shake the soil off.
Shake it off. And there we go. I think we got 2 fresh leeks that I'm going to take to the kitchen. We'll sort them out there.
Amazing.
And we're going to cook with them after the break. Thank you very
Enjoy.
much. Always good to have
Pleasure.
you. Ben
Good
Getz
to
from
be
Urban
here.
Harvest. Love learning from you, man. We'll be back after this.